I'm not ready.
Did you... Oh, hold on. Ooh. Did you make a spot?
I did.
You did?
It's your least favorite spot, but it's the only spot.
Wrong.
It's, unless I remove ammunition from the ammunition shelf.
Do better. Dang. That was a little complicated. Hi. I can't... Oh.
Who are you talking to?
I don't know.
There. You're talking to me. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you belt fed today? You've been a little spicy.
Not really. I mean, I am, but it's just about nothing nobody else cares about.
Oh, right.
I didn't.
How is that any different?
I didn't really.
I'm kidding, boss.
Because of what I'm belt fed about is work stuff, so it is kind of your problem.
Yes.
Or it's about to be your problem. Gordon, good morning, sir. No, really, I'm not. I mean,
No grocery store endeavors?
No, I didn't. I mean, people are stupid all the time. I did go to Costco this weekend, and just the amount of ignorance that can be in one spot is...
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
And it all revolves around just the fact that you think you own the whole freaking aisle.
Yes,
And
but you need to act that way as well. That's the only way you're going to get through it. Otherwise, you're just going to get pissed off at everybody. You just got to go with it. It's actually kind of liberating to be like,
screw
F
everybody
everybody.
else. Yeah. This is the other thing. There were two people, like, me and you run into each other at the grocery store. You're going that way, and we're on the appropriate side. We're on our own side doing our thing. And then we stop like, oh, Liz, hey how are you? It's so good to see you. And there's people, and you're like, oh, hey, screw you guys. We're going to have a conversation and take up the whole lane.
Completely oblivious. Yes. Or the people that stop to get the samples.
Oh, my God. I don't give a damn about the samples. There was a huge line and cluster of people for one. I don't even know what the hell they were giving out, but it ain't worth it to get a little nibbin.
I mean, you are spending good money on like this big bulk package of it. So if you could figure out if you like it beforehand, that's kind of helpful.
That's true, except that I'm not waiting in line for that little thing.
That's true. And then the people that do wait or block everybody.
Block
else.
everybody because they like set their card here and then they go stand here. It is, yes. I have a hard time. Like I actually like going to Costco. Like I like looking at stuff but then when I like the idea of going and looking at stuff, and then when I get there, I'm like, freaking Cindy, what do we need next? What's next? We are not going the most direct route. We're going right through there. Let's go. Get the hell out of here. I have a hard time dealing with it after I'm there.
But then you just end up in the parking lot, which is worse.
Or just
people, humans.
They're interesting, for sure.
Do you think Costco would let you carry a gun in there? Like open carry? I don't recall seeing any signs or anything. Since, it's the topic. Good morning, Cynthia.
I don't know. I for some reason I thought they had signs, but
that's the glory of having a CCW.
Yeah, I walk right past it all the time. If they do, I don't.
You're on the live.
But they don't know me.
You don't know me. I mean, they might.
They might. Yes. There are a couple of guys. One of the guys that works at the gas station has come in here and did some private lessons and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
It's funny. I recognize him all the time. I don't think he thinks I recognize him. You know how he came in and did one class or one lesson or something, and I recognize him from that. I don't remember what his name is, but I recognize him from that. And I always kind of wave and say hi, and it always looks like he's looking but doesn't know if I recognize him. And it's awkward.
That awkward moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of being at Costco and people knowing that you have a gun, this is all relation. The one time I was at Costco, I was wearing my Range uniform shirt, and I was walking by one of the ladies giving the samples. They don't actually work for Costco; they work for another company. And she kind of like looked. She just looked at me in the face, and she was looking. She's like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the shooting range." And she's like, "What?" I have a gun. And it's been so long since I've shot it. And I talked to her for 45 minutes. All because she saw the logo on my shirt. And she felt comfortable enough to say something. Now, I'm more approachable.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you are more approachable than I am.
Approachable than
I
most
don't
people.
think...
Especially with a mustache. Or beard, whatever it is.
I don't think that if I walked up to that lady, sometimes it surprises me.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if it's me that walks up and I'm wearing a Range shirt, they're not asking me questions.
If they only knew, and this isn't a joke, if they only knew how approachable you are to talk to about guns, like, because it doesn't matter who you are, you walk up to you and try to have a conversation with you about anything. It's not what you think, so, especially with your deep voice.
What are you supposed to think?
Well, I mean, look at you. You're scowling, and there you go.
Just walk around like...
That's better. I don't think I would talk to you about guns. You're a little sketchy.
I was watching yesterday. I was watching Ace Ventura. Pet
Oh
Detective.
my God, my favorite. That's my favorite movie ever.
Walking.
No, you gotta swing the arms. And, like,
I can't. I don't know.
Smack
if I can do
yourself
it because
in
he
the
like.
chest.
Oh, not that. He like. Killing me.
My favorite movie ever is Ace Ventura.
Man, it is.
I mean, I can't stop laughing when I watch that movie. I don't know. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. It's the best. So let's get back on. Let's get back on topic.
What the hell are we even talking about?
We're talking about open carry versus concealed carry. I think that we kind of just dove into it a little bit deeper, as we never do, and talking about people knowing you have a gun.
Kelsey, hi. Oh, sorry. Hi, Henzo, if you're watching.
Anyway, so people knowing that you have a gun, good or bad? Well, depends.
Yeah.
Is it a good person that wants to learn about the industry and see where they can go to shoot guns? Maybe they want to make a new friend to go shoot guns with. And, you know, I gave my number to that lady at Costco, and she texts me every once in a while, and she actually like tells me, like, I've been working out and working on my grip strength. I'm going to come in and shoot. And it's really cool. And I'm super happy to build those connections. And again, I'm a short lady, and it's easy for people to come up and talk to me about guns. You know, when people ask me what I do for a living, it's like, especially depending on where I'm at. Like if I'm at my son's wrestling match and the one of the kids' moms is like, "Whoa, what do you do?" And I'm like,
Here we go.
Here we go. We're either gonna become friends now, or you're gonna hate me. So, and it sucks. Like, but anyway.
So let me ask you this: you said that is somebody knowing you have a gun, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think she knew you had a gun? Just because you work at a range?
I don't know that she made the connection in that moment.
I highly doubt it. Because you'd be surprised how many times people in here, if my gun's concealed, are like, well, you're carrying a gun right now?
Like right now?
Yep.
Good morning, Martin. It's quite funny too, and it makes sense because you're not in the world, so you're like, some people are like, why the hell would you carry a gun? My grandma, for a while, when I got into this world a lot, I would go, Thanksgiving or something, and she'd give me a hug. And one time she like felt my gun. It was when I carried back here at 4:00, and she's like, what is that? What is that? It's like, what's my gun? And she's like, oh, Lizzie. It cracks me up. So now she passed me down. Jan says, sorry, you have to pause. Saw a canine officer alert Saturday at West County Mall. The female officer asked if gentleman was carrying a firearm. He walked on by quickly. I think I know the officer.
Yeah, we know the officer.
Yep. That is an interesting thing because there's some places where they got canines and they're sniffing for guns. So.
So the.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
You're not. it's not illegal for you to go in there, right? If you have a concealed carry permit. They have signs and yada, yada, yada. It's not illegal for you to go in there. But when they have a metal detector, they can stop you from going in there. When they have dogs that can alert to that sort of stuff, they can stop you from doing what you're doing and ask you to leave.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Just go away.
Yeah, just leave.
They'll probably
Just
walk
leave.
you out.
Yes, they most likely will.
But don't be rude. Just like,
yeah.
sorry,
Hey,
sorry, no big
cool.
deal. You don't. That's not the place to have that argument.
Yeah, there's no. You're not going to win. You're in the wrong, right? They have the right to ask you to leave, and if you don't, you're in the wrong. So there's no point in arguing it.
Yeah.
Just leave. Does that suck? Sure. But yeah, there's more and more of those around. And obviously, I disagree with that. I think that's ridiculous that they should enforce it that way. But
Paul says, I tell people it's a colostomy bag. The convo dies off real fast after that. That'll work.
Yep.
That'll work. I mean, being a girl, I probably have the advantage of people don't want to ask me like why my belly looks bigger than disproportional to my like leave me alone. Anyway, so open carry.
Yeah, in big picture, I think it's a terrible idea for other people that you don't have control of in your life to know that you have a gun.
Yeah, I agree.
That I don't want anybody to know for a few reasons. My reasons are, one, I don't want them to think they can try to take it. Okay, that it's got to be somebody doing that.
Who just liked
Yes,
something?
who-
and I didn't,
Because it always happens when I give a thumbs up and then something
but
pops
then
up on
you
the
try
screen.
to do it again, it doesn't.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
Fireworks.
Yes.
It's like
It is such a distraction.
you need to learn to control your magic.
Yes.
you're just an
My magic is
uneducated
uncontrollable.
magician.
I don't want somebody to think that they can try to take it. And I also don't want somebody to think that it's my responsibility to solve their problems, right? I don't want that person to be like, hey, you have a gun. There's a guy over there that's being mean to somebody else. You go stop him.
But does that, they can think what they want. And who cares if they're strangers to you and if you got your family with you or you choose not to save the day, that's your prerogative, whatever they think. You just like cut off your head. That's fine. But that also helps preserve our Second Amendment.
What does?
People's feeling safe around others with a gun, whether they see it or not. So I watched a video from John Lovell about this and about open carry. It was like a little interview thing that they did, and he brought up some really good points about open carry. Strategically, I think it's a bad idea. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad idea because for the cases where guns get taken off of you, used against you, just the nerves and the chaos that could come from that. It also depends on the area that you're in. If you go in the St. Louis and you've got a gun on your hip, you're probably you're going to stand out.
You're saying you're trying to normalize it.
Yes.
Okay, which I could agree with. Except, here's one of my other big problems with it, is that a lot of people, and I really wish I had one, and I don't.
What?
A garbage freaking holster. A lot of people who openly carry to make a statement.
I know, it looks like crap.
To be like, well, it's my right. I do what I want. I'm going to put a gun on my hip if I want to.
Just like,
You do it in a 14-cent Uncle Mike's foam. I hesitate to even call it a holster. And you clip it on your pants.
on the outside with a left-handed holster.
Yeah, you use an inside the waistband holster that's left-handed, but since you're right-handed, you bought that so you could just clip it on your pants on the outside, and you look like a flippin' moron. You do not look like a presentable, professional, well put together individual. You are not setting a good example for me or for her. You're not. You are walking the line of the stereotype of who people think gun people are. Because so many people do that. Because that is easy. You have the gun that you bought at the gun show for $72, and you go to Walmart and you buy an Uncle Mike's holster. It's really hard for me to say Uncle Mike's and holster in the same word or the same sentence. Holster, and you clip it on, and you think you're a badass. You think you're gonna save the world if the world needs saving, and you think that you are making a statement for the Second Amendment, and you're an idiot.
It's Belfed Monday.
There you go. That's it's people that look sloppy, right? I feel the same way about any job, right? You're representing a company, you should look professional. If you're representing a movement, you should look presentable and do it properly.
And safely, mind you.
Safely.
That's what this, you know, if you're trying to promote the Second Amendment, again, I think it makes sense for woosah, rub your earlobes. That works.
Doesn't help. Got my ears ringing.
Good job. Good job. Oh, never mind. The stereotype is real.
It is.
And
Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
For sure. But
Right.
there's another part of this is the safety aspect too.
Absolutely.
If you have a gun on your pants and it's not clipped to a belt, or it's not secured to your body, you know, if you bend over just right and the gun falls out, or some teenager wants to mess with you and pull it out of its holster, or some bad guy wants to pull it out of its holster, or at the, you know, you find yourself in a defensive encounter and you can't get the gun out reliably, it's stuck in the holster, or it falls to the ground, or your finger goes in the trigger,
or the holster comes with it.
The holster comes with it. Like, all these things are reasons to consider your holster selection. But if it's open carry being, so show what you got there. So this is open carry when it's openly displayed, like a cop.
Yeah.
This is legal. You can do this. But what you're telling everybody is that you got a gun. Some people actually view this as some sort of a, you know, like, well, you're trying to be a cop because, you know, whatever, they don't know. Or maybe you are having that mindset. I don't know. But at the very least, this gives somebody okay, you're the one behind the curve now. Whereas if you had it concealed, nobody would know you had it, and you wouldn't theoretically be the most dangerous person in the room. They were like, Liz, everybody at your work open carries. We work at a gun store. I think it makes more sense in a place like this. We'll even walk next door to the gas station, and if you're open carrying, they don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. But all the looks that you get, if you pay attention, if you open carry your gun, and you walk around and people notice, you can see it in everybody's face how, for one, uncomfortable you make them, which, take it or leave it. If you don't care, you don't care. But pay attention to other people who look at your gun too, because they might be sizing you up. The video you just showed me this morning of this guy walking into a gas station, he had a gun tucked in his back pocket.
My gun's unloaded, by the way. But in his pocket, he had a gun.
Which brings up what Nick just said, is like, if someone is carrying a gun that's not in a holster, they're probably a bad guy. Yeah, I agree.
Did you see?
Probably.
In this same video, so this video is on active self-protection. It was released, I don't know, Friday or Thursday or something last week, so relatively recent video. But one of the guys walks in the gas station with a
I didn't notice that.
Not in a holster here, tucked under his armpit. And he just walks in, he looks around, and he walks out.
That's a shoulder holster.
Yeah, that's an armpit holster.
Armpit holster. So now, if you decide to open carry, you know, it's your choice. You get to make the decisions you want. We're being silly and hyperbolic, but we're also trying to give you good, objective reasons to make a decision for yourself. Some people open carry when they're out hunting, and that makes sense. You know, like you do what makes sense for you and where you're going. Just know that you're going to get a lot of attention from good people, from bad people, from cops, from all kinds of people. You're not doing anything wrong, but you should consider some things. Safety being one of them. The way that any holster that you choose, whether it's inside or outside, appendix or 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock or your ankle or your pocket or wherever you decide to carry a gun, put it in a freaking holster and make sure the holster's good enough to keep you safe. That gun should be loaded with a round in the chamber. Our advice. Strong advice. Strong opinion.
Yes.
But if it is loaded properly to the point where you could get your gun out and use it effectively if you had to save your own life or somebody else's, then you want to make sure your gun and your trigger is protected well, because it's pointed at some pretty gnarly areas, you know, not to mention your femoral artery runs down your leg if you're carrying on your waistband, appendix. If you're not carrying in a good holster and it's flopping around, it's not good.
So, good holster, right? If I have a good holster, I'm okay to carry outside the waistband.
Sorry, I got distracted by Dima's comment.
What?
I got distracted by Dima's comment.
What did Dima say?
He said, you ever go to a gas station in North St. Louis at night, you'd have an armpit holster too.
It's funny, I had a conversation with a security guard from a downtown St. Louis gas station about how that place changes after dark. Anyway, totally different conversation. So if I have a quality outside the waistband holster, a high quality outside the waistband holster, then it's totally okay to openly carry out in public. I'm asking you.
Oh, well, it depends. Are we talking legal stuff here or what?
No, not legal.
So if you have a good quality waistband, no. I think that there should be additional levels of retention.
Yes, that's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Like, so what I'm wearing right now is a quality holster. Okay, this is a CompTech holster. This is a quality, well-made holster. This is what we would call level 1 retention, that it's just friction holding this in. It's not going anywhere if I, want to goof around or whatever. It's not going to fall out while I'm walking or bending over to pick anything up. However, if anybody else wants it, all they got to do is grab a hold of it and it comes out of the holster. This is not really designed for openly carrying out in town. Now, if I wore that here, I'd be okay with it because I'm in a controlled environment, right? Like I'm not standing in lines and have random people that I don't have some control over walking around me. If I'm doing that, I want something with an extra level of retention, okay? This is not coming out of the holster unless retention is defeated. There's all sorts of different retention.
Active retention.
There's all sorts of different ways active retention can be disengaged. In this case, it's got a little lever here that I pull, and then the gun can come out. Okay, this is what I want to be wearing if I have people around me that I don't have control over, right? That I'm walking through Costco and leaving my cart over here, and I'm browsing on this side, blocking everything. If I'm carrying with outside the waistband, I want something while people are trying to squeeze behind me and all that stuff that keeps somebody from taking my gun. In the video we were just talking about, a gentleman walks into a gas station and openly carrying with his gun in his back pocket, and somebody walked right up and just snatched it right out of his pocket.
I've seen that multiple times.
Yes.
There was actually an off-duty cop that was in line at a gas station. And I thought it was the same video at first because it's a convenience store. And
don't go into a convenience store at night, especially if this one has got a turnstile, a bulletproof glass turnstile. I don't know if you noticed that,
no.
But hey, I want to buy this pack of gum, and you got to set it on this little turnstile. They bring it around, they scan it, then you put your money on it, and they turn it around again.
My ex used to work at the Domino's downtown, and that was how you gave people their pizzas. It's through a bulletproof window. It's crazy. You couldn't open one side unless the other one was closed. Anyway, but this chick had it right. It was on her hip, but her shirt was over it. She didn't try to hide it, and dude comes up, grabs her gun out, and shoots her with it. It's like some people cause violence for no reason.
Yep, just because.
Other than just to hurt people and cause chaos. there is, I'm learning about this in this book right now, but there's, social violence and asocial violence. Social violence like chest bumping and, that typical aggression of hierarchy and things like that. Then there's asocial violence, the people that just want to hurt people.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't make sense to you as a good person.
No, makes zero sense. And those are the most terrifying ones. The ones that you're not going to talk your way out of, the ones that you have to get violent in return. And if you don't have your gun in order to defend your life because they have it, that's bad. So, anyway, open carry, openly displayed, not necessarily outside the waistband. Some people can wear outside the waistband on the outside of their waistband, not tucked into their pants. So this is inside the waistband. I don't know if you can see that, I'm short. So it's inside my pants. You can also wear it outside of your pants if you have a belt or something like that, but still cover it up with a jacket or something like that. The point is it concealed? Is it behind something to where other people can't see it? That can be in a variety of places. If you could wear shorts, you can carry a gun on your ankle, but it would be open carry.
Yeah, you could openly carry your gun right now just by simply putting your putting your shirt behind your gun. Now it becomes open carry.
Display, openly displayed. So, just why do you want people to know you have a gun? Well, ask yourself why.
I think it's a great question to ask. Are you doing it because you want them to notice?
There it is again. The little thumbs up. So
Who did that?
Yeah, some people
Who did that?
Who did that? Sometimes these little thumbs up do little bubbles in the screen.
And sometimes there's fireworks.
Sometimes there's fireworks. We have no idea why.
Yeah.
So trying to figure it out. Anyway, so why are you doing it? Are you trying to tell someone don't mess with me? Because while that seems to make sense for you as the person that you are, there's a normal like.
Yeah, those are normal.
So those are normal likes. If that makes sense for you, because you would look at somebody with a gun on their hip and be like, okay, they have the means of hurting me beyond what I have to, whatever, if you're trying to take something from them. So I'm going to choose not to mess with them because that makes logical sense. Somebody that is willing to hurt you to the point of taking your gun off of you, they are already past making that decision. Yeah. They don't give a shit. They're going to hurt you and they're going to take your gun from you and they're going to use it against you, most likely. That's not going to deter somebody that is willing to go to that level of violence with you.
It's really hard for you to comprehend that because
it is.
You don't think that way. You wouldn't walk up to me standing in line at the gas station and just decide you're going to try to take my gun off my hip.
Yeah. That's an automatic, you have to also understand that that's an immediate felony to take someone's gun. Steal a gun is an immediate felony. So they already don't care. Meaning they probably already have felonies. They don't have that same level of I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
That they crossed that line already. So fireworks are normally stars. Oh, that's kind of cool. So when people give us stars.
All right. Somebody give us a star. Wait.
They have to pay for those.
Oh, yeah, well, don't do that. If you want to.
Yeah, go ahead, send it.
Send it.
We like fireworks. Anyway, so ask yourself why. Okay, so then you can say, are you openly carrying your gun because there's another like? Do you want people to know that this industry is important and our Second Amendment's important and to be able to carry your gun out like that is important? It's okay. Just ask yourself the question and know the sacrifices because you are putting yourself behind the reactionary curve. You are giving away your location, your abilities. You're no longer the gray man. There's a reason why the gray man is such a big deal. You're not in the forefront of I'm such a badass and I'm the most dangerous person in the room. You're also not the weakest person in the room. You're trying to blend in and just be a person in society. It's not one way or the other. It's in the middle. Okay, and that's how you avoid conflict and confrontation. You win 100% of the fights that you don't get into.
Absolutely.
So then, do you want somebody to ask you about it? Have you seen the videos where the guys are walking around outside with a gun on their hip just so they can get into an interaction with law enforcement? That bothers me.
Yes.
Because they are immediately carrying their gun with the goal of getting into conflict.
With creating issues.
And I'm not going to say that cops handle this great all the time. They're human beings. Everybody's a freaking human being. But just like I say in CCW class, when it comes to, if you walk into a store and they got a sign on the door and they won't let you take your gun in there, like, are you going to go up and have that conversation at the counter? It's like, regardless of all these reasons, you may be right, but it's not worth the fight. Like, that's my new favorite one-liner. You may be right, but it's not worth the fight, and it really isn't. And it's you have a gun on. The conflicts that you engage in have a potential to go way higher than what you would expect them to. Understand the world around you, understand that people don't think like you, and they have other goals in mind that you may never be privy to. Sorry, going off on a tangent. Stay away from Serpa holsters.
What's a Serpa holster?
I'm so glad you asked. It's the holsters that have the button on the side of them. Here, you show, because I have no hands. I have one hand. But...
One hand. They have a button down here that you are supposed to press in order to, it's an active retention holster. It's a level 2 holster. So it locks the gun in, and when you press a button with your trigger finger, which is a terrible idea, you press a button, then the gun can come out. So not a big fan of those. Honestly, if you use them correctly, they work okay, but most people don't use them correctly. And they also have a pretty high potential of, if you end up on the ground somehow, some way, of them getting locked up and you not being able to get your gun out.
So another reason why you again, ask yourself...
Mary, if you're asking about CCW classes, yes, we do. There's so many comments. I have no idea what the heck.
I've been kind of watching. Nick said they're not allowed in IDPA matches, the Serpa. And then
Good.
Ace says, I just peeped, he got the Hulk Hogan mustache. Nice.
Yeah, it'll be for like a week or 2 or 12. She wants me to grow my mustache out so I can curl it.
Little curly thing.
I could do it, but I just don't know if I've done it in the past. I don't know if I can wait that long.
So another common misconception on why you would want to carry open carry is because it's faster.
Mm-hmm.
Is it though?
Oh man.
Especially if you carry it right with active retention. Whenever you carry active retention and you have extra buttons and levers to press, that slows you down a lot.
It does. It slows you down, especially if you don't practice. If you practice, it doesn't slow you down as much. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can still get a pretty good draw out of. My draw out of my level 3 is faster than a lot of people's out of a level 1 holster. But that's just because I'm confident in it and I practice with it and all that sort of stuff. Not that I'm the fastest out there by any stretch. Okay, but I take it seriously and I want to be good at it, so I practice it. From concealment, you have the huge advantage, most likely, as long as you're doing it correctly, that whoever you need to draw your gun against doesn't know you have a gun. Mm-hmm. If you have it outside the waistband and they've got the drop on you and you feel like you need to go, what the hell do you think they're going to be waiting for? They're going to be watching for you to make any sort of movement to this thing. Whereas if it's concealed, you have, oh yeah, you want my wall? Okay, yeah, here you go. And then you can go to work. They don't know you have it. They don't expect to see it. It's hugely advantageous. So from the beep, for me, I'm saying I'm maybe a couple of tenths faster. When Vin and I did our couple of tenths faster from a level 1 holster outside the waistband to a level 1 holster inside the waistband.
Just because of clearing cover garments,
yeah.
Not because right here is right here.
Yeah, it's very
you come
fast.
Right up to your ready position, whereas over here,
there's more movement.
There's more movement,
and
you're moving like this.
When Vin and I did our reaction stuff, where he was,
Good morning, Luke.
If you don't, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, we talked about this. Me and Vinny went downstairs. We were talking about action always beats reaction, and we're trying to time it and see for the 2 of us. I had a gun in my hand, pointed at the ground, and we set a timer randomly. When the timer went beep to start, that would just meant I could go whenever I wanted. So I would wait a few seconds, and as soon as I started to move my gun up, when Vin saw me move my gun, then he would react and have to draw from outside the waistband, and then the shot timer would measure our time between shots. Now, we were at 5 yards going for headshots, so it was slowing us down minimally, but we wanted to add some complexity to it. it was about 0.3 of a second for him when he's not touching his gun to my shot going off and his shot going off was the difference. We did it a bunch of times, and about 0.3 was pretty consistent. When he had his hand on his gun, it was right at even or a tenth, so almost exactly the same. Then we swapped. I was from concealed, 0.3 of a second. It was exactly the same. When I saw him start to move, I would go for my draw. I was 0.3 of a second behind him.
Nice.
So it really wasn't any slower. Even though I have to clear a garment, the gun's in a better position for me to work faster.
And you can protect it. You
Yeah.
can access it when you're sitting. You can carry a bigger gun. Like, it's more comfortable. There's so many reasons why I prefer Appendix. AD asked what kind of gun you got and how much.
Whoa.
I'm
So
keeping track of comments
yeah,
that we need to
good job.
address.
Try. This is a Shadow Systems MR920L. So Glock 19 size grip, Glock 17 size barrel. This one here is an MR920P, so it's an integrally comped gun. Again, Glock 17 size, Glock 19 size. Fantastic handguns. I don't know, $800, $900,
Yeah, around that.
something like that.
There's different options. Gold barrel and all that stuff
Yeah.
changes how much it costs.
Yeah, the P's only come in the Elite, which has some other stuff. The MRs you can get in a, what do they call it? The base model?
Oh, Foundation.
Foundation series, and they're like $600, $650 or something. It's
Fantastic.
awesome. Super awesome optics mount. Yeah, anyway.
And so you know, while that's a full-size gun, that's also what I'm concealing right now. So he's
Yeah,
got
same
it
gun.
outside, exact same gun.
Yeah.
So he's outside the waistband. I'm inside the waistband.
She's inside the waistband with this gun. Yeah.
So it's doable. And while that is a consideration when you're concealing and choosing a gun, it's like everybody like, well, I need a small gun because I got small hands and all this other stuff. And we're not going to go down this tangent really far,
Yeah,
but you
that's
do
good.
make a big sacrifice when you're choosing which gun to carry. I showed my CCW class yesterday me carrying a Glock 34. I put a 34 in my pants and nobody could find it. Like, it was fine. Before I
That
actually...
sounds really weird. I put a gun in my pants and nobody can find it.
Stop it.
You said it.
Oh my gosh.
I just stunk it.
Before I let anybody know what gun I was carrying, I just asked them. I said, look, I got a gun on right now. What size of a gun do you think it is? God dang it. Now it's going to keep perpetuating.
What? Wait, hold on. I ought to see his mustache rides.
You got to be careful with our...
I know,
people.
Ryan. I mean,
Right.
for you, they're complimentary. Are they complimentary or do they need member pricing?
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
That's
Well-
okay. I don't remember what I was saying. But you don't
You
have
asked
to...
what gun you had.
Oh yeah. Most of them thought I was carrying like a gun this big. And anyway, they were wrong.
Yeah, Glock 34 is longer grip than this, so about like that, and longer barrel.
Yeah. And you just find gear that works for you. Back to our original point of like, if you're going to open carry and you're going to use the most crap holster you can, like all that stuff matters. It makes concealed carry. I don't even open carry around here. I'm always concealed because it's actually more comfortable. I don't have a gun pulling on the side of my hip and I'm like,
Wearing this all day like this it's exhausting,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it adds weight. I mean, you're adding a weighted thing on the outside of your belt. It's way more comfortable. Now, here's probably the number one thing that I hear, and I heard it Saturday in CCW class. But you got a gun pointed at your junk. So what? Like, who cares?
you should be more worried about your artery that runs
Yeah.
through your leg.
Absolutely. It's when you understand.
So remove the fear though, because you can say who cares all day long,
Yeah.
but that's not going to solve anything.
You need to understand how the gun operates, right? Like the fact that as long as it has its trigger covered, the gun's not going bang. It's not going bang.
Even if you fall really hard or you get knocked on your butt or whatever.
That's and I trust me, I totally understand because I even said in class on Saturday. Like when I first started carrying a gun, I carried it 4 o'clock position, and for that very reason. Plus, that was where most people carried at the time. The thought of putting the gun down the front of my pants was a little bit troublesome. But again, I applied some logic to it. And honestly, the biggest change for me was the very first class I got into where we fought for a gun, and mine kept getting taken. Right? Because once it becomes discovered, it's really hard to hold. You have very little strength in your shoulders. And if I'm trying to hold my gun in my holster back here, I'm going to lose that fight all the time. It was tough. That was a big thing that helped me change to wanting to explore appendix a lot more.
I think what gave me comfort in it is understanding how the gun operates, the fact that it's not just going off. Like it's a very common misconception. Yeah. No matter how long you've been shooting, especially if you've been shooting for a long time, older guns didn't have those same safeties in the internals, like the internal passive safeties and things. So if you don't understand how a gun works, that can give you a little bit of fear there. Holster selection is huge. Our triggers are very well protected. That's what the Kydex does, is it clamps down around your trigger guard, so it's not going to just come out. It's not even my gun, but I'm confident to do that. So it's not going to just accidentally come out of the holster. However, if you have a Uncle Mike's floppy cloth piece of junk, it could come out of its holster, and then that would make it a reason to be nervous about it. 100%. So it's not easy. They're expensive. They're not inexpensive. So save up a little bit of money, because I think you'll find it worth it. And you also have to make the decision to carry your gun. Like I was watching this video about concealment the other day, and he said the very first step of this is making the decision to carry a gun, like all the time. Not that you have to carry it all the time, but once you switch to that lifestyle, then the clothes that you buy, and your mindset when you walk out the door, all that stuff starts to shift. You get to make the conscious effort of like, am I going to carry my gun today or not? If I don't, what if? If I do, what if? Like you need to make these conscious thought process, like decisions. They're not just like, whatever. I want to buy this shirt, but I'm not going to be able to carry a gun in it. Don't buy it then. Get a different shirt that you can carry a gun in. It's a different lifestyle. It's a lifestyle shift. It's not just a diet for a couple days.
Yeah.
So.
Nick asked a question. He said, what if it's a certain make and model of gun? We talk about it not going off.
You know what? I'm tired of holding back on it. There is some turmoil in the world with Sig Sauer and the P320. I don't know. I'm not a gun mechanic or anything like that, so I'm not going to try to pretend I know. But there have been multiple cases where that gun has negligently discharged. Now,
hold on, real quick. How many times do people tell us the gun just went off? All the time.
All the time,
so
and it's not.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do, is clarify that, because it's a hard thing to talk about. It's like an instructor when you go down and shoot someone's gun for the first time and you're shooting low left. You're like, I know that I don't shoot. Like, I know that that's a common thing, but maybe I'm not relating it well. Guns don't just go off. Okay, so if we have somebody come in here and say, well, my gun was just in its holster, it just went off. Our first thought is like, okay, what kind of holster are you using?
Yeah.
How are you handling it? And it's 99.9% of the time the human's fault. And of all the issues that the SIG Pre-320 has had, I guarantee you a large chunk of them is user error.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, just because of that's what we typically hear. Human error is prevalent when it comes to holstering guns, unholstering guns, using guns.
People put guns in their holsters terribly all the time.
Handling guns, all that stuff is very, very much human error. That's why we stress so much about good holsters and safe holsters and practices and getting the training to holster your gun properly. But I cannot be blind to some of the situations that it's really hard to say it was the human.
Yeah.
And I've heard from a few high-level instructors, extremely high-level instructors, that they're on the brink of not even allowing them in class anymore because they have seen them discharge in class negligently on the gun going off. So those are people I trust a lot, and it doesn't matter who they are. You can take it for what it is. But when they've seen it and they put that much weight behind it, I tend to gravitate towards that opinion as well. I have not myself had an experience with one going off, but I've also not tried it. I've not tested it.
Hell no.
But there's enough out there to give me pause, and
Yep.
I rarely suggest them. But I'm not the first. I'm not going to be like, well, you shouldn't do that. If I have
Do
a
your
student,
research. If you still think it's the right choice for you, then that's fine.
Yeah.
We've had that conversation with students that like that gun, and we say, hey, just do your own research. If it's something you still want, I'd love to say that I don't think it's a problem anymore with their guns. I don't know that. I don't know what they could have changed or whatever, but it's definitely worth looking into, especially if you're mechanically inclined and have an understanding of how just things fit together and this happens and this happens and this happens type of stuff. There was a great video actually I watched not too long ago where somebody breaks it down, and it's kind of sketchy. My opinion.
I just had a conversation with a friend of mine about it the other day, and we just kind of went back and forth on it. And he's actually a gunsmith, and he told me what it is. It's over my head, so I couldn't relate it or say it again. But he's like, if you just fix this and the problem is solved, which in my opinion, he's telling me that there is the problem, but he's confident in fixing it. So if that's something that you can, take out to a gunsmith or have them fix that for you, then go for it. But this all started from, I believe it was Dallas PD. They actually had the gun fall and hit the ground in a certain angle, and the gun discharged whenever it fired or whenever it hit the ground. That is not the way that modern semi-automatics are designed. They should not fire if they hit the ground. And I am confident to say that about a Glock or Shadow or I have not heard of any other. Yeah, I've not heard of any other ones. Watch your shirt when you're holstering your gun. Watch your freaking trigger finger.
Yeah,
that's generally how that stuff happens.
Yeah, when that happens, that's not the gun going off. That's you shooting the gun. Whether it's your finger or it's your shirt or it's your buddy's shirt, right? You're causing the gun to go off.
Don't shoot or don't shove your gun in its holster super fast. Be cautious and mindful when you're holstering your gun. It's not freaking worth it.
Slowly,
It's
deliberately,
not worth it.
purposefully.
Yes. Let's see. Ryan brings up holster retention adjustments are overlooked a lot too. I think so too. Holsters have screws on them, adjustable retention. Sometimes, not all of them, but some of them have screws where you can adjust the fitment, the retention on your trigger guard. So the pros and cons to retention. I'm dealing with a little bit about this right now. My holster, this has really strong retention, like the friction, the molding from the Kydex is pretty strong. I can pull on this a lot, and I have to actually yank on it to get it to come out. And it's got a lot of retention. I'm confident that my gun's not going to fall out if I'm rolling around with somebody or I'm trying to defend my life with my hands. But it slows down my draw time quite a bit. It requires, because I carry my gun a little bit higher because of my pants, it requires much more of this, and it's just not a strong way to pull on the gun. So you can adjust retention on some holsters. This one I cannot because it's mounted to the Enigma. But that is an option for you as well. Whether it's closer to the muzzle, closer to the trigger guard, so on and so forth. So. Brian, someone turned on the bat signal for you once the 320 came up. That's funny. So, anyway.
That's all we got to say about that.
You got to put especially with your mustache, you got to put the twang on it.
That's all I got to say about that. So yeah, I'm not going to tell somebody don't buy a 320. I think in general they're a good gun. It definitely gives me pause though. I don't know. 365, no problems with those. I had somebody ask me that this weekend, like in front of class, like, hey, at 320, it goes off every time you look at it sideways, which is not true.
Yeah,
but what about 365? My wife has one, and is it going to go off in her purse? Don't put it in your purse, and no, it won't go off. Put it in a quality holster.
Yeah, I had the same question come up in my class too. So it's hard to not have it brought up anymore. So
yeah.
It is what it is.
For sure. All right. You got anything else?
No?
What do we have going on this week, Elizabeth? Well, one of our things that we had going on this week isn't going on anymore, unfortunately. Wednesday we have our
The
Child Advocacy Center, sex trafficking and exploitation of children. Because of the impending weather and because our speaker is coming from a fair distance away, we are going to have to reschedule that. So if you're on that list, we have 60 plus people signed up for it. We're going to be sending out an email here shortly saying that, hey, Wednesday's class is not happening. We're moving it to next month. We don't know a date yet. Once we get that finalized, we'll email everybody again and let you know that, hey, you're in the new date. You're already signed up. You don't have to do anything, but if it doesn't work for you, please let us know. What about this weekend? What's happening on Saturday?
Oh, 2A day.
No.
In
First
CCW.
is your CCW class.
Yeah.
That's a bigger deal. That's going to be a bigger draw than 2A day.
Yeah.
2/22 is 2A day. So we have, I got to text Alex or something. We have Alex Shea coming in. If you've never listened to Alex talk, that's what you're going to see.
Freedom! You forgot about freedom.
Freedom! That's what he's going to say.
Like brave.
So
He
Alex
should paint his
Shea
face
from GOA, man, he should.
That would be
Red,
awesome.
white, and blue.
I think he's done that.
I'm sure he has.
Katie.
KD from No Other Choice and Chief Bergfeld from Baldwin PD will all be speaking. The speaking engagement stuff starts at 6 o'clock. It's supposed to go 6 to 8, 8:30, something like that. But all day we'll have free lanes. We'll be celebrating 2A day. So come out and hang out with us. I don't know if we'll have some deals going on or something. Who knows? But okay, sorry. 2A day. We'll have deals. I don't know, but we'll definitely have free lanes and just awesomeness.
Food and refreshments and
Yeah, we'll have food and stuff in the evening, and again, the speakers: Kevin Dixie from No Other Choice, Alex Shea from GOA, and Chief Bergfeld from Baldwin PD. So please come out and hang out with us. If you really want to spend the full day with us, come hang out with Miss Elizabeth, and I will most likely be in there as well. We'll have a nice big CCW class, and we'll have a party. Especially if I'm there, it'll be a party. It'll be awesome.
Can we start from the beginning?
Yep. No problem, JB. Just for you, Meng. So then what else? 19th. We have
Knife
Punch
hands.
Bill in the Face Day. It'll be a good day.
Yes.
How many people do we have signed up for that? Ladies. It's a ladies only self-defense.
30-something.
Whoo-wee. When's the last day they got us?
Today.
Oh, today.
Today.
So if you're not on the list, get on the list.
Today.
Because you get a free set of gloves. It's going to cost you $50, okay, for the class. It's 2 hours down the road from us here at Gracie Baja. We're going to do some striking and then some grappling, and included in that $50 cost is a set of gloves from Rev Gear. So get signed up right now, because we got to send the list in so we can get all the gloves ordered. And if you're on the list and you can't freaking make it, you better tell us today, please. I saw something about a belt. Do you have any idea what that was?
Oh, he wants to know what mag pouches to get. I think he thinks that's a mag pouch.
Oh, yeah. This is not a mag pouch. This is a tourniquet pouch. This is my backup holster, so I don't have a tourniquet in it, but this holds a tourniquet.
He was asking about concealed carry mag pouches, though.
We have some that are actually pretty nice from, I don't know if we have them right now, honestly, from Crossbreed. That I've used previously. I've also got one. CompTech has a leather pouch that I've hooked up on my Enigma before that I like, works pretty well. Truthfully, unless you're shooting competitively, I don't like to tell somebody absolutely not. You don't need to have a spare mag, but it's very, very unlikely that you would need it. If you're going to need it, potentially maybe because of a malfunction. So if you're like, hey, I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it, then absolutely. So this is one that I have. I personally, oh, this one's not as bad. Mine had all sorts of extra leather underneath of it that I cut off because it annoyed the crap out of me. I also cut off some of the leather around there.
A little baby guy.
And look, he's a little guy. This is from Crossbreed. This isn't the one I have.
It's a single stack.
Okay. They have a universal-ish one. Maybe we don't have any right now. But this is another option inside the waistband. And that's for like an LCP or something.
Yeah, single stack, 9mm or 40. I just grabbed the first one I saw. It's
I
a
know.
freaking mag pouch.
Don't carry, I mean, I guess you can carry little guns. As long as you understand the sacrifice. We've talked about that ad nauseum on here, so I'm sure you could find it. But if you understand the sacrifice of what you're carrying, then fine. Also, please learn how to shoot your guns. We had a student in class on Saturday. It's like, my gun's a piece of crap. It malfunctions all the time. When she held it right at range, just fine. And before that, she was having malfunctions like every third shot.
Grip matters.
Learn how. Just because you can make the gun go bang doesn't mean you know how to shoot the gun. So you might be able to make the gun go bang safely, but learn.
Word.
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 Defensive handgun classes. Any sort of outside the waistband mag pouch would be fine.
S-Tech Kiwi.
We don't sell S-Tech.
Do we have outside the waistband?
I don't know that we have any outside the waistband mag carriers right now. I wish we sold S-Tech. I have S-Tech on a belt or two. You have them. Vin has them. We should. We've actually inquired about it. I don't know why we don't carry them, but that's beyond me.
We'll beat him up whenever he comes in.
So S-Techs are great. It's not something that we carry here, but S-Tech Kiwis are great mag pouches. But you just need, for defensive handgun one, you don't need to have them. It's still a good idea to have them. For defensive handgun two, you need to have mag pouches. Please and thank you.
JB brings up the sidecar setup on an appendix holster.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them have like a little pouch right next to the...
Yeah, they'll have, it'll be holster, and then next to, attached to the holster, we'll have a mag pouch. Crossbreed makes...
Pivot.
Yeah.
So it's nice and...
Yeah, Crossbreed
Conforms
makes,
to
there's
the
all
fine
sorts of
bottom.
them. We sell some from Crossbreed that I've got and I like. I just don't carry an extra mag. Vin actually has a nice one. I think it's from T-Rex. That...
No, it's tier 1, I think.
Is it? No, I thought it was the T-Rex is the one that he could take it off and put on, he's got a tourniquet pouch on there instead of a mag carrier, which is kind of slick.
So what does that tell you? So real quick, on active self-protection, John does these like, well, what I've learned from analyzing 10,000 gunfights or whatever. And what he's found is, at least on video, on camera, at one point he had never seen a civilian reload their gun in a defensive gun use. I think as of recently he saw one person actually reload their gun, and I don't think they needed to fire it after that. So what does that tell you about the capacity that you start with? That's what you got.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Yeah.
So choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Okay.
Don't realize the mag bag.
Listen. The word mag bag.
Mag bag. And the skirt.
Yes.
Jenny, I love you.
Yes.
The T-Rex modular sidecar is practical. Yeah. I like both of them. Tier 1 and T-Rex makes good sidecar. Omar, I think you were the first one to show me Tier 1, like when we took that class. But yeah, I was impressed.
I like Tier 1 makes good stuff. T-Rex makes good stuff. I just don't like Lucas. Just don't. Yeah, I've never met him personally.
I have.
But I just don't. There's just something about him I just don't like.
He's very tall.
Is he really?
Yes.
I mean, he looks like he's tall and thin, but he doesn't. In the videos, doesn't look like he's taller than me. He's taller than me. I mean, everybody's taller than you.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, he's pretty tall.
I remember the first time that I met. It's a fuddy-duddy old guy. YouTube. Yeah, Hickok 45. I was in Atlanta at an NRA show, and we were walking to the show together, him and his son. And I would always see like him and his son on the videos, and they're the same height, which is like this tall. I'm walking down the street, and I'm like, holy crap! Big dudes. Anyway, I think that's it. That's all we got. So the 19th, the Gracie Baja, you can sign up. You can find it in like the events section or the coming soon section, whatever it's called, on our website.
Or Facebook.
Look for the event. You can sign up for that. You don't pay for it till the day of. So if you're on the list, make sure you show up so that we can get through all the stuff. We have 2A Day on Saturday, so come out and hang out with us for all sorts of awesome stuff and listen to Alex, Katie, and Chief Bergfeld. Yes, ma'am.
JB's talking about personalities. He says, I get it. I have a similar issue with a lot of personalities. Personalities often come first. There are some exceptions.
Yes.
I must have missed the conversation.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about Lucas.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact,
Got it.
I don't like him, even though I don't know him.
Happens.
So maybe he's a really nice guy. I don't know. I've met people that I thought were going to be really cool that were jerks.
For sure. It is what it is.
Yeah. And maybe they're having a bad day.
He's a good shooter nonetheless, but he's...
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't begrudge him on that. He is a good shooter. But I think, and maybe I'm misremembering, that he got caught speeding up. He's already fast, but I think he got caught speeding up some of his like early videos. And maybe that's why I don't.
Maybe.
You're already good. You're already better than probably most average
Insta.
people.
It's Insta. Wait.
All right.
We're leaving.
Now we're leaving.
Toodles. Bye.
14803. No! Get back! 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. 10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. This Saturday will be a little bit different hours because of what, Elizabeth?
2A Day.
2A Day! So come hang out with us. You guys stay safe, be nice to one another. And we will catch you soon.
Just say it. Awkward pause.